Hi everyone. I hope your week is going well. Um, this is my video over the critical writing video, and what I took away from it were definitely two questions that he asked. What, like, as far as conclusions and coming to conclusions, because it's kind of the hardest part for me was once I would finish writing a paper and I still had more left for the requirements that I was supposed to be writing. Like if it was supposed to be 6 pages, I wrote 5. I had a really hard time extending it without making it fluff, like we talked about in the first, I think it was the first week. And so these two questions that he asked would have really helped me back then when I was having those problems extending my papers and my thoughts and creating more thinking, more critical thinking, more writing. And the questions were, what does that imply? So the implications, and then what would happen? Creating more evidence and asking more questions and just expanding on thoughts instead of just putting in fluff pieces to make it longer. This would have helped me out a lot back then. I feel like I do a little bit better job now, but I think these will help me as I further my education. Assessing other papers he talked about as well, and I think that's the hardest part for me is assessing my own paper, because I have a hard time, I guess, trying to figure out how to say what I've already said. I don't know if that makes sense, but when I read my own papers, it's a lot easier for me to leave things out because my mind will travel faster than I can type, and so I'm already thinking of, the next sentence or the next point that I want to make, and then I'll leave one out. And then when I'm reading it, I remember what I was thinking when I was writing that, and so I get stuff out again. I don't know if that makes any sense again, but that's just how my brain works. Does anybody else? I hope that made sense, and maybe you can help me with that. Like, I feel like I do a decent job of assessing other people's papers, but when it comes to assessing my own, I have a very difficult time. So if anybody can help me with that, that'd be great.